Hello, movie lovers. Get ready to dive into 3,000 Years of Longing, a magical tale where ancient myths meet modern love. This isn't your usual romance. It's a captivating blend of passion, life lessons, and the enchanting stories of a djinn. From a scholar's affair to a showdown at airport security, this movie offers a little bit of everything. Love imaginative storytelling and whimsical visuals with a touch of heartbreak? Then this one's for you. Grab your popcorn and prepare to be enchanted. Before we begin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more captivating movie recaps. Now, let's dive into this mesmerizing tale. Who knows what wishes might come true? The movie begins with Alithea, a British scholar more into myths than mingling, traveling to Istanbul for a lecture on the connection between science and myths. As she steps off the plane, a glowing little man appears, oddly determined to guide her luggage. But here's the twist, no one else sees him. Before she can process this mystical apparition, her colleagues arrive, and the glowing figure vanishes like a tourist scammer with a side gig in invisibility. Later, Alithea shares this encounter with her friends, who dismiss it as a djinn sighting because obviously, glowing strangers scream Genie. At her conference, the strange continues. Alithea spots another glowing figure in the audience, this one less helpful and more heckler. Shouting rubbish, mid-lecture, he leaps at her like an overzealous fanboy. The shock causes Alithea to pass out spectacularly in front of everyone, because why faint quietly when you can make it theatrical? She wakes up to concerned colleagues and, surprisingly, applause. Apparently, fainting earns standing ovations these days. After the conference, Alithea ignores her friend's advice and heads downtown for some retail therapy, because when life hands you glowing men and public fainting, antique shopping is the logical antidote. In one of the shops, she spots a small, unassuming blue bottle. It's more quirky decor than mystical artifact, but she decides it's worth taking home. Why go for flashy when you can have mysterious? The next morning, curiosity gets the best of her. While washing the bottle at her hotel, she accidentally cracks it open, and boom, out pops a djinn. Not your standard genie. This guy fills the room like he's been waiting centuries to stretch. After a quick multilingual guessing game, they settle on Greek, and the djinn reassures her, nothing to fear, just your standard 3 wishes deal. Of course, the fine print applies, no wishing for more wishes, immortality, or world peace. While Alithea processes this supernatural surprise, the djinn casually explores the room, fiddling with the TV and learning English faster than a language app on steroids. Then, the million-dollar question, what does your heart desire? But Alithea's not ready to make wishes. Instead, she shares a childhood memory about a mysterious boy who visited her during tough times at boarding school, telling enchanting stories in a language only they understood. Overthinking ruined the magic, and she burned her journals in frustration. The visit stopped, leaving her wondering if it was all in her head. Their chat is interrupted by breakfast delivery. Alithea waits for the djinn to disappear before opening the door. No need to scar the room service staff. When she turns back, the djinn has resized himself, compact edition, and transformed her modest meal into a Michelin-worthy spread. Still hesitant about wish-making, Alithea stalls by asking how he ended up in the bottle. The djinn admits it's his 3rd time being trapped, thanks to his love of chatting with women, a habit that's backfired spectacularly. The djinn begins his tale with a messy family drama. Long ago, he was romantically involved with his cousin, Queen Sheba, a half-djinn monarch whose hairy legs were legendary. But hey, love doesn't judge. As her confidant and lover, the djinn enjoyed freedom and hoped to marry her one day. Enter King Solomon, who crossed deserts to woo Sheba in a way no genie could compete with. Despite the djinn's warnings, Sheba fell for Solomon, trading her hairy legs for royal wedding-ready smoothness. Ouch for Djinn, big win for Solomon. Things took a darker turn when Solomon, sensing the djinn's connection to Sheba, used his magic to trap him in a brass bottle and had it dropped into the Red Sea. Not exactly a honeymoon for the djinn. For 100 years, the djinn screamed, raged, and prayed to every god he could think of. Eventually, despair set in, and he wished to feel nothing, a wish that left him grappling with eternal existential dread. Back in the hotel, Alithea dodges the wish question, insisting she is all she needs despite her solitary, childless life. She recounts her failed marriage, a romance that started in school but crumbled after a miscarriage. Her ex moved on, leaving behind bitter memories and a jab about her being incapable of feeling emotions. Alithea admits that while her brilliant, story-filled mind isolates her, she doesn't want her ex back. The divorce brought her a sense of freedom she never expected. Still, the idea of making wishes doesn't sit right with her. She's read too many cautionary tales about djinns and their ironic, often disastrous twists. But the djinn insists he's trustworthy and honorable. When Alithea wonders if she can simply refuse to make wishes, the djinn reacts with visible distress. Turns out, not making any wishes is bad news for both of them. To prove his point, he promises to share more about his tragic past, because if there's one thing he knows, it's bad luck. Djinn's second imprisonment began when fishermen found his bottle inside a fish, mistook it for a barnacle-covered rock, and tossed it aside. The bottle traveled aimlessly through time until it was embedded in a wall where a curious slave girl named Gulten discovered it while spying on Prince Mustafa. When Gulten opened the bottle and Djinn appeared, she fainted. Once revived, she made her first wish, to join Mustafa's harem. Djinn obliged, and Gulten hid his bottle beneath a secret bathroom tile, settling into her new life as one of Mustafa's concubines. While Gulten reveled in palace luxuries, Djinn observed the chaos of royal ambition. His attention turned to Hurrem, the Sultan's favored slave and a cunning political strategist determined to secure the throne for her sons. Sensing danger, Djinn warned Gulten to stay cautious, but she ignored him and used her second wish to conceive Mustafa's child. Meanwhile, palace politics boiled over. Hurrem spread a deadly rumor that Mustafa was plotting against the Sultan. Distrustful and enraged, the Sultan summoned Mustafa and executed him without question. Unaware of Mustafa's death, Gulten flaunted her pregnancy, believing she carried the future prince. This boldness sealed her fate. The Sultan, viewing her as a loose end, sent assassins after her. Djinn begged her to use her third wish to escape, but she dismissed him and fell into the assassin's hands. One, wielding Iblis's magic, nullified Djinn's powers. The assassins drowned Gulten in the sea, and though Djinn tried to save her, he was too late. Her death left Djinn tethered to the mortal realm, bound to await a new master. Hearing this, Alithea wryly notes how wishes always seem to end in disaster. Djinn counters that refusing to wish only prolongs his suffering. After Gulten's death, Djinn remained invisible and powerless for another century, tied to his bottle under the cursed bathroom tile. Princes Murad and Ibrahim nearly uncovered it, but their mother, Sultan Widow Kozum, interrupted them. Djinn followed Murad, drawn by his resemblance to Sheba's lineage, but Murad, ascending the throne at 14, had no time for supernatural matters. And so, Djinn's tragic cycle of unfulfilled wishes, bad luck, and lost opportunities continued. As Murad matured, he led his armies in battle while his mother, Kozum, worked to secure their family's legacy. To ensure an heir, Kozum locked Murad's brother, Ibrahim, in a room full of women. Ibrahim, unconcerned, indulged himself, preferring women of immense proportions. Murad, scarred by war and betrayal, returned to the palace paranoid, even contemplating killing Ibrahim. Kozum persuaded him otherwise, arguing Ibrahim's laziness made him no threat. To keep Murad distracted, she surrounded him with alcohol and storytellers, though Murad often killed those who displeased him. One storyteller, however, gained Murad's trust and became his confidant. When the storyteller died, Murad spiraled into despair and drunkenness. In this vulnerable state, Djinn finally guided him to the secret bathroom where his bottle was hidden. Tragically, Murad was too weak to open the door and soon drank himself to death, leaving Djinn trapped in isolation once again. With Murad gone, Ibrahim reluctantly became sultan. Among his eccentric choices, he appointed his favorite concubine, Sugar Lump, as governor of Damascus. Sugar Lump roamed the palace freely and eventually found the bathroom with a hidden bottle. Her immense size cracked the floor tile, revealing the bottle. When Djinn appeared, desperate for a wish, Sugar Lump mistrusted him, believing he was a trickster. She wished him back into the bottle and for it to sink to the bottom of the Bosphorus. Hearing this, Alithea sees it as further proof that wishing leads to ruin. Frustrated, she contemplates giving the bottle to someone else, but Djinn refuses to return to it. Their argument escalates, with Alithea making flippant wishes that fail because true wishes come from deep desires. When she muses about wishing they had never met, Djinn is devastated. His anguish causes the bottle to shatter, unleashing a strange energy that disrupts electronics. Realizing this isn't the first time such a force has occurred, Djinn begins his third and final tale. Zefir, a young girl married at 12 to an older merchant, faced resentment from his 2 other wives and mockery from the household. One day, the merchant gifted her a bottle found inside a fish. After fulfilling her duties, Zefir opened the bottle, releasing Djinn. Djinn, captivated by Zefir's intelligence, listened as she shared her frustrations. She revealed her passion for creating things, dismissed by others because she was a woman. Feeling like a witch with untapped power, Zefir made her first wish, for boundless knowledge. Djinn granted her wish, providing countless books. To hide her treasures from her husband, they stored the books in enchanted bottles. Djinn spent his days with Zefir, teaching her sciences, languages, and even subtle ways to defy her controlling husband. As Zefir grew confident, she rebelled against his rules, challenging patriarchy one book at a time. Her husband, however, was obsessively possessive. Whenever he demanded her attention, Djinn would leave the room, soaring into the skies to collect stories for her. Their bond deepened as Zefir solved an ancient math problem with her second wish, to see the world as Djinns do. This newfound perspective led to another surprise. She became pregnant with Djinn's child. Their happiness flourished, and Djinn abandoned thoughts of returning to his realm. But when Zefir attempted her third wish, Djinn stopped her, believing 2 wishes were enough. This decision made Zefir feel trapped, comparing Djinn to her husband. To avoid conflict, Djinn began bottling himself during arguments, a habit that only worsened the situation. Finally, Zefir made her third wish, to forget Djinn entirely. In a flash, their love and memories vanished, leaving Djinn trapped in his bottle once more, heartbroken and alone. Moved by the story, Alithea makes her first genuine wish, for Djinn to love her. They share a magical night together, but reality soon intervenes. Alithea returns to London and offers Djinn a modern bottle for travel. At the airport, security raises alarms, but the bottle passes through unscathed, and they make it to London. City life proves harsh for Djinn. The noise and electromagnetic waves weaken him, and while Alithea works, he struggles to adapt. She finds him one day, crumbling into ash, a tragic effect of urban life. Desperate, Alithea uses her second wish to hear his voice one last time. They share a heartfelt conversation, and she realizes her wish for love was selfish. With her third wish, Alithea sets Djinn free. He returns to his realm, leaving her to wake alone. The next morning, she carefully stores his few belongings beside those of her late husband, a tender acknowledgement of her past loves. 3 years later, Alithea has turned her experiences into a beautifully illustrated book of Djinn's tales. Just as she begins to embrace her solitude, Djinn reappears, vibrant and free. Now able to visit her on his own terms, he promises to ease her loneliness, one unforced moment at a time. 3,000 Years of Longing is a unique cinematic experience that dares to ask, what happens when a Djinn falls in love in the modern world? With its stunning visuals and heart-tugging moments, this movie is a reminder that even immortal beings aren't immune to human heartbreak. Sure, it drags in places and makes you wonder if someone wished for extra slow pacing, but it's worth it for the enchanting stories and emotional payoff. Did you love the chemistry? Did the ending leave you wishing for more, or maybe less? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when new movie recaps drop. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, where we'll uncover yet another cinematic gem, or maybe roast it a little. Until then, stay curious and keep dreaming.